Welcome everybody to the Axe and Arcana Fantasy Adventure game. How's everybody doing tonight?
Woo!
Magic spells.
Our monk rogue Waddle is running a little late, but we're going to start off with a little recap, and hopefully he will be with us shortly. So long story short, your party is wanted in the city of Ambrosia by its newfound leader, the beholder William Wisp, who sits away in his castle. You guys brought some attention onto yourselves and were tracked down by the captain of the city guard, Drake Dragonstorm. You guys were able
Sound
to
like
make...
us.
No, not at all.
Loud and attracting attention, and magic spells flying everywhere. Nah, can't be us.
The other guys. Magic is illegal, and magic spells were being thrown.
Alfred blasts indiscriminately into the crowd. Yeah, that doesn't sound like us at all.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You guys made a daring escape from the clutches of Drake Dragonstorm, trying to flee the city of Ambrosia. You were sidelined by a quick trip into a temple, the Temple of Valen, which had some significance to Dusk, our tiefling bard. His mother, long since missing, there were clues to her whereabouts, but while you were inside the temple, some former rivals, Saja Flame and Kyrus, disciples of Drake Dragonstorm, tracked you down and kind of wanted their vengeance on you. You held your ground and were able to stop them, striking fatal blows, or Kyrus was left bleeding out, and Saja had a blade in her throat. But you did not get to enjoy the spoils of victory for long, as radio messages started to come in from your airship Ark. Your friends, Leon and Bosch, piloting Ark, started to come into view over the city of Ambrosia, and it was quickly apparent that the ship was crawling with N3, which are Wark construct undead hybrids. The ship flew in, a bunch of them kind of flew off, but you noticed in the distance there was a sort of invasion of these N3. You got on the ship and started to take off as you saw William Wisp finally emerge from the castle at the heart of Ambrosia. He started firing off different rays from his eye stalks, trying to fight off these construct undead creatures. And you noticed the swarms of these creatures taking over the streets, and they all looked at you as you were starting to take off overhead, and in unison said, "We are N3." So kind of like a hive mind vibe. So your ship was just taking off over the city when we last left off, and That's where we're picking up. Oh, as you were getting onto the ship, there was another member on the ship that most of you did, except Gus, did not recognize. So as you guys are climbing aboard the ship and it's starting to move, Gus, will you describe what this figure looks like?
Yeah. So, I guess we're all on board the ship now, right? Climb the ladders or whatever.
Yeah, it's that starting to move as you guys are sort of taking an assessment of the deck of the ship and the city around you.
Okay. So, yeah, what stands before you is what can be best described as just a big dude. Archdruid Hard Oak stands almost 7 feet tall. He is thick. He is barrel-chested, big arms, trunks for legs, big bushy gray-white beard, very unkempt, kind of like he's been in the woods, but that is kind of offset by what looks to be very ornate sort of leather armor, and a very fluffy, nice-looking cloak kind of wrapped around him. Despite his kind of imposing figure, he seems to give off just warmth. Like, just want him to hug you. Like, he's got a perpetual smile, some kind of rosy cheeks, a little Santa Claus vibe. He's just looks like a big, huggable dude. The last thing you notice, and possibly the weirdest, is from his unkempt, kind of scraggly white hair, are what look like at first deer horns, but upon closer looking, they are sticks. You're not sure if they're growing out of his head or if they're just attached to a headband you can't see. Just these tiny little 6-inch little tree limbs coming up out of his head. And yeah, that's it.
Oh my god, amazing.
That's a drawing I can put in the chat.
I want to see a drawing. You show me.
So the arc is sort of slowly moving. It wasn't barreling in. It had sustained a little damage, and it's why it sat outside of the city for so long. So as you guys are starting to take off, the druid sort of opens his arm. He's like, "Gus, my boy, how are you? You've been gone so long."
Yeah, and Gus kind of, as I finish climbing up the ladder, scuttles away from him. Be like, how'd you find me?
It would seem fate drew us together.
Is this your doing? Pointing to the zombies down below.
And he kind of looks out and takes it in, and he's like, "No, not at all. It seems to be what have brought us together." And then he eyeballs ID10T, this construct, and he's like, "You've taken in some strange company."
I'm gonna raise my hand and do a little twiddly, like, hello.
You've taken to strange company too, looking around at the ship, kind of pointing at it. I never thought to see you in something so metal.
It was a last resort. These things out here that seem to burden us, they found our home. Was it Willowheart?
Yes.
They started to approach the borders of our home some time ago. And we knew defensive measures were needed. We tried to fight fire with fire, but it didn't seem to work.
I still kind of backing towards, like, almost hiding behind those legs. Like, what do you want with us?
We evaded them as long as possible. Constructed works are not natural and not of our ways. But these things were paired with reanimated dead, things that should have stayed buried, as is the natural order. And these dangers started to come to our borders, and we knew not what to do. And before we knew it, we were overrun. We took to the trees and the hills and the burrows and made as great of escape as we could. Some of us made our way out of the forest when we found your friends here. And he points to Leon, the lizard folk, and Bosch, the turtle. And this contraption and those 4 unnatural boxes they pulled behind them, and those of us who made it out of the woods took refuge in those boxes. I was able to jump on board this ship as the swarms of them started to overtake us, and we took off, and they were behind us.
Gus kind of looks down a little bit. And, Real heart abandoned. What of my friends? Aubergine, Espendish. Are they okay?
He looks at the turtle and he's like, "What did you say those boxes were called?" And Leon's like, "It's a train, man. We call it a train." They took shelter inside of those broken machines your friends here were working on. And these unnatural creatures tried to get in, but they couldn't. But it seems coming into contact with them that the machinery reawoken and sort of followed us here. They did not make it over the city wall. Your friends are still inside those trains, is it? Outside of the city walls. So they're sort of like barricaded inside the work trains.
Work trains besides the one our party is in?
You guys are in the airship Ark, and Ark was sort of like the engine that pulled the work carriages. So there were
Right.
4 work carriages that they were like the Transformers. The jammers you guys were in the first season transformed into these train carriages. And so the
Okay.
citizens of Willowheart took refuge in them from the onslaught of N3. When N3 came in contact with them, the machinery woke up and started chugging along and pulling the N3 with it. So your friends inside this moving train, safe from N3, but the N3 were like following in pursuit behind them, but weren't able to get into the city walls. So Ark flew over the city walls. The train is still outside, and then the N3 sort of followed with them and then got into the city. Does that make sense?
So not all of them followed the
A
train.
bunch of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bottle will speak up. I'm glad you're having this little reunion, but I look outside. Are there any still? I think you said that they were like clinging on to the outside at one point.
Yeah, there were some as it landed. You would like to check to see if there are some more?
Yes, please.
How would you do that?
Sticking my head out the window.
Okay, roll me a perception check.
9.
So you kind of peek over and you do not see anything. You look down and you see like pods of 2 or 3 of the N3 in the city below. You look over.
My asthma. I have a condition.
There's the sound of the airship engine.
That's on brand.
That's all you hear. That's all you hear. You don't see anything. You just hear
It's
that.
the bubbler drive.
Later.
So you look out, you don't see anything on your ship, and then your eyes kind of look over the rest of Ambrosia, You look on some building tops in the distance, and you see Cardinal Law and the Dark Cloak, who you guys last left off with Drake Dragonstorm outside of the Axe and Arcana Tavern. They're on rooftops, and you see them sort of like fighting down at N3, crawling around a building. And in the distance, you still see William Wisp sort of firing its rays and taking on these creatures as he sees them.
Wait, do we? So Drake Dragonstorm is down there fighting off the horde.
No. So when you firebombed outside of the Axe and Arcana,
Yeah.
that was to make an escape from Drake Dragonstorm. He started to pursue you, and Dark Cloak and Cardinal Law, the Vigilantes, the Sisterhood of the Twin Arrow that you guys met, they sort of tangled him up so you guys could escape. And that was the last time you saw them. But now that you see them, they're on a rooftop, fighting stuff. You
allies,
see,
not
yeah,
Drake.
You do not see Drake Dragonstorm. And you'll see people in like various parts of the city like fighting off these things as they do.
Yeah, okay. Can I all right. I'm going to go ahead and go up to the edge of the railing and just kind of watch. I'm just waiting to see. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing, but ID10T's he's curious. There's like all of these what appear to be. Do I don't sense any kind of like kinship
Kindred.
like with with like Apex, from before.
Not quite, but you get make me a perception check.
All right. And while I'm doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and that's a big one. So I'm gonna go ahead and crack open a synthetic oil here.
Okay.
There we go. And I'm just sitting there with that synthetic oil, looking over the rail and going, that's a view right there.
Yeah,
but,
you don't.
I rolled one. So.
The technology on them looks familiar, but it's not quite. See, there's the ping again. It's not quite natural. It's not the same as it was with Apex. But anybody else who's like the camera cuts down to them as you pass over, they seem to look up at you in the ship as it flies over, and then they go back to their things. So you'd see like their eyes look up and then get back to what they were doing.
They seem to have a goal or anything. Like, are they just intent on wreaking havoc and destruction? Are they going after just living things, or are they tearing down structures? Like,
you can roll me an insight check. While you do that,
hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
The technology, does it remind me of my hand, perchance?
Yeah, so your hand is work technology, but it's newer and less. Their technology feels older, like the stuff you saw in Krotara. It's a little clunkier, like first generation iPod, and yours is a little more sleek and streamlined. It's less
click wheel versus touch wheel. Got it.
Yeah, it's less decorated too. It feels more. It's like cheaply, industrially, like punched out versus like ornate stuff that was crafted.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got a 12 to
your insight.
Yep.
They're not necessarily hassling people, but it seems like they're on the search for something, and if somebody gets in their way, they'll go through them. Zazu, your arcane creature friend, flew up. He was kind of following you guys and flies up and lands on a railing next to Velvet. Velvet, what do you see yourself doing in this situation? You guys are just taking off from this like undead robot army. this is unfolding beneath you. What would you find yourself doing in this moment?
I mean, in the moment, I'm choked up for Gus in the situation for his friends, and I've got sad anime eyes, and then Zazu comes up next to me, and I just give him a hug. That's all I know how to do is hug.
Hug. Okay. Were you gonna say something else?
I was gonna say, Gus doesn't take his eyes off of Hardo, kind of like narrowing his eyes at him, still holding, like clutching his backpack to him, almost like a little shield between him and Hardo. Inches over closer to Velvet, and tugs on his robe, and is just like, we should go find those trains and save those people.
I think I'm observing how Velvet is so emotionally into this connection between Gus and this wizard character or his friends, and how it's happening, and I resent how he didn't say anything or like act anyway when I was getting news about my mom or anything like that. So I'm just like resenting him a little bit internally. I'm not going to say anything, but that's what's going on.
Wow.
Hey, Waddle.
Whoa, adventurers! How do you?
Waddle appears in a puff of smoke. He's been there the whole time.
I'm jealous of your colors. I'm going to change my colors.
This calls for adventure.
So, as the ship was taking off, I recapped everybody from last time. You guys were taking off as the N3 horde was sort of attacking the undead construct hybrids. William Wisp emerged from the castle. There was an old acquaintance of Gus's aboard your airship Ark. And the ship was slowly like taking off over the city as we were kind of taking stock where everybody was. Spells you guys have cast, abilities you've used since the first fight at Axe Narcana against Drake Dragonstorm, you guys have not rested. You guys were at the Axe Narcana, then you were at the Temple of Valen, where you faced off with Saja and Kairos, and now you guys are in the airship. So this is all still technically in the same day.
Waddle needs a nap.
So Gus walked over. You didn't say that to Velvet, right? You were just thinking it?
No, I did. I tugged on Velvet and kind of like whispered up to him, like, "We need to save those people in the train, the city. They'll be fine." Big laser thing shooting the zombies.
You're saying that Gus is looking at you thinking, I'm sorry, Dusk was thinking what he was thinking, that little bit of bitterness, and he sees an undead wark hand start to reach up from the side of the ship, and like it starts to reach through the railing for Gus, and then you see it like clench and then fly back out as you see Waddle finish climbing up the ladder, throwing the N3 off the ship and hopping onto the deck.
That's a good entrance.
That is.
Still is the blue mandrill, maybe?
Mm-hmm. You know the blue mandrill. That's the drill.
Man, that's the drill, man.
Listen, there it is.
So you guys see people fighting the N3 throughout the city streets of Ambrosia. You guys can see in the distance your vigilante friends on top of the building sort of fighting some off. William Wisp is in the distance firing rays. Gus ran into the druid from his home village, and the village of he came from sort of evacuated as the N3 sort of ran their way through there.
This place has really gone downhill.
ID10T, you feel like scans of your system from beneath you. So like when you first met Apex and Crotara, there was like static, like
Yeah.
so you start to feel as your ship's starting to fly over and these things had been looking at you, they're starting to like ping your ship.
Oh. That doesn't seem good to me. It's like,
No.
not good to me.
Not good to you.
Do we have any kind of bombs?
On the ship, there's
On
a
the ship,
harpoon on the front of the ship. I don't believe, unless you guys have bombs yourself.
I asked the party, do we have any bombs? Like,
I don't think so.
any form of explosives?
Go through
Can
my
someone
pockets.
enchant a
I
harpoon
don't think,
with, like an explosive?
I don't think I got any bombs.
I can shoot a firebolt.
Can we?
I'm
Make a
sorry, I can
bomb?
only summon holy fire from the heavens, and I don't have one of your mundane bombs.
Holy fire from the heavens. No conventional weapons. So yeah, I'll go up to the area where I plug in, and I'll go ahead and hook myself in and scan the area.
So you
But-
walk into the cabin where Leon and Bosch were piloting this thing.
Yep.
And you sort of push them aside.
Yeah, and I'll say move aside, and then kind of back up into the little slot that's like shaped like my body.
Okay. So you start powering in.
Yep.
Is
Okay.
it like your body?
It's like a slot in the wall that's like shaped like me, and then I just roll back into it. Oh, but I have legs now.
Yeah, but you're not compatible.
So I'm just gonna jam myself in as hard as I can into that
Not
slot.
smooth or graceful looking at all. You're just
Yeah,
like,
so you see my legs are like bent in like super not humanoid like positions, like just broken. But I don't
Hold
feel
up
it.
to your-
Yeah. And then yeah, I want to do like a scan of the what's below if I can. But
Are you looking
yeah.
For anything in particular?
I just want to see how many of them are below us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess go ahead and roll me a perception check. And
Alright.
go ahead and do it at advantage because you're using the ship systems.
Okay, I'll roll again then.
Yep. Take the higher of the two.
Perception. I guess because I'm not compatible and I'm like kind of like half jammed in there. That's gonna be a 6. Yeah.
Yeah, you try to ping and it feels like something's blocking the sensor on the bottom of the ship.
My little stubby legs is what it is.
So Leon's like, where are we going, man? What's the call?
Kind of say a little louder for the rest of you. We should see
Yeah.
the train.
Yeah.
And
we should go for. It looks like William Wisp has got the city. We hope, and yeah, it makes sense to go after.
and if these things have invaded Willowheart, we should go there too. Great knowledge is there. Great power. They shouldn't get it filthy with their unnaturalness. I kind of like point at
Oh,
at Oakheart again and kind of like do like one of those like point my eyes, point just be like, I know your tricks though. I know your tricks. I know your plans.
What do you mean?
If I find out that you did anything to cause these things, don't know what I say it, but that's kind of shaky.
What are you alleging there, young Gus? Speak.
Ooh.
That's paddling.
No, not here.
He kind of takes a breath and he looks around.
Did you say Oakheart? Is that what it's called?
That's what
The
his name's
Arch.
is
Yep.
Hard Oak.
Archdruid.
Sorry,
Hard Oak.
Willowheart town.
So, but you wanted to go somewhere? You
Yeah.
were saying let's go somewhere.
If these things have overrun Willowheart, maybe we should go there after we save the people.
Let's go there now.
Can I hear them talking on the deck?
Sure.
All right, here we go. I'll try and pilot the ship. Well, actually, I don't know where I'm going, so I'm gonna just.
But you
start
do it
heading
anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna start heading in a direction. I'll head south of the town, and I want to gain altitude.
So you try to start picking up altitude, and it feels like the ship just doesn't have the go for it right now.
Okay. Shucks. Prado, can you go downstairs and check the engine?
Sure. What am I looking for?
I don't know. Make it go faster.
Alrighty. And I'm actually going back there with the mind to see if there's anything interfering. I don't know if I'll be able to help mechanically.
Okay, so you'll head down under the ship. Whoever is on deck, let's see. I guess who are the spellcasters? ID Tenti and Velvet.
Yes.
Would you guys make me a perception check? Oh, and Dusk.
Yeah, I imagine this kid. Yeah.
And
Perception check.
Yeah, but it's not like a standard perception. It's like an
Man.
arcane perception.
I got a 14.
I don't know how that would
Plus arcane.
help. Maybe like
Oh.
add our int into it instead.
Sure.
Oh.
add up.
So that's a 20.
Okay.
I have
It's
I got
a 16 for me.
2016, and what'd you say, ID?
an 8.
Okay. All right, so ID, you're kind of like too busy integrating yourself with the ship, trying to get it to follow your commands. But Dusk and Velvet, you start to feel a cold chill on you. And you like a magnet, you feel drawn, and you look to the center of town where William Wisp is, and his eye is locked on your ship.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Front butts.
We got it. Dang, I ain't never heard of that before, but we got a vamoose.
You see him start to one of his rays fires up on one of his tendrils.
Uh-oh.
You see a bunch of his tendrils start to curl, and then they all at the same time hit a bunch of different N3 around it. And you're kind of seeing this, and you see the N3 beneath you all start to twitch, and they start, something's wrong with them as a whole. They've been acting as a hive mind this whole time, and they all blink their eyes, and then their eyes are all of a sudden yellow, bright glowing yellow.
Oh, no.
And the compulsion that they had, whatever they were doing, they all just kind of stop. They kind of put their hands down, and they all slowly start to turn, and they start to shamble away from the city. You notice this mass exodus of these N3 under you.
Definitely one of those good news, bad news situations.
I don't know what's going on, so.
Velvet, your book flies open. What did we call it? Devore?
Yes.
It flies open, and your quill appears and starts scribing in it.
What's it say? Is it saying front butts too?
Yeah.
Oh, front butts.
Oh, front butts.
It's mash note. Making mash notes.
It says, I know that spell. And it's like thinking. It's like trying to figure out what was just cast.
Oh.
Interesting.
Hey, is there anything about the yellow eyes that clues me into something?
You've seen yellow eyes before.
Yeah, I'm remembering that. What was her
Red?
name? No. Who did we talk to? Toshi said that a cleric with bright yellow
That is
eyes
correct.
was looking for my mom.
When you were in the Temple of
And so-
Azrael's Anchor, where your friend Gorilla Red was, at some point she turned and her eyes were yellow as well. And we'll
Didn't that mean she was being possessed by William Wisp?
yes.
So William Wisp is looking for me. I
Yeah.
guess this is all internal in my mind.
Yes. So it doesn't seem like he's not the cause of these things, but he's been able to like stop them for a short time. Velvet, in your spell book, the word G-E-A-S ? Geas?
Geas.
I think it's pronounced Geas. And it's sort of a spell where you compel something. It's like a 24-hour compulsion.
Compulsion.
So if you think like almost like a voodoo, or like what it is it's a spell that's cast on somebody, and you compel them to like walk away from here for 24 hours, or go build a cabin, or do anything other than harm themselves. It's like a super high level spell that it's like a mind control, but it's a temporary mind control.
Okay.
So for 24 hours, like it seems like William Wisp was able to like get into this hive mind and compel them to stop.
Okay.
And you being like the wizard of our group, other than the one piloting, you are the one who has access to this knowledge of what he was doing.
Okay. Well.
And you get kind of a chill because it's one of those like it's not a very nice spell to cast on people, you know.
Right.
And you've heard about it, but you've never really seen it done.
Right.
It's the bad touch of the magic world.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, this doesn't look good. I think he's casting a spell called Gias. Gives him temporary control, and it's real bad. It's bad news bears. That's what the book says, at least.
The word erases, and then it starts writing as you hear a booming voice over Ambrosia as William Wisp starts to speak. Citizens of Ambrosia, have I not kept you safe once again? Look as these creatures flee from our streets. And you see people like looking out and watching as these creatures are starting to leave. This doom befell us because of a group of magic users have infiltrated our city. Look to the skies. You see people starting to look up. Your book is writing this out as if like compelled by this booming voice of William Wisp. They brought magic into this land. They brought evil into this land. And you see people starting to look up and like look kind of angry and confused, like what's going on? And then like people don't normally see airships in these parts. And you see like distasteful look on people on the streets, you know. Bado, you're in the bottom of the airship.
And I hear this big booming voice.
You kind of hear there's like engines, you know, the arcane inner workings of the ship are kind of humming. You kind of hear it like, you know, there's like a party with a boombox next door, and you kind of hear it through, but you're not quite sure what you're hearing. But you're like, oh, whatever. You're down here trying to figure something out that ID10T asked you to do.
You're gonna hear me over the intercom going, "All right, did you find the problem?
So no going back then.
We've got a bit of a problem up here."
Yeah, it's all better now.
Oh, all right. Well, come on back up. We seem to be the target of the entire city now.
Ramdoozle the Flugs you did.
Everyone hates
what?
them.
What was that?
Come on up.
I need to know so this can be on a t-shirt. What did you say? Bado, you flandoozled the what's it?
Oh, I don't even remember anymore. Yes. I technobabble.
So you just went down and pretended to fix something?
He's calling me away, and I wanted to go away anyway, and so yeah, I totally fixed it.
Is there anything down there
Pretending.
that's bad? Just check, just in case.
I don't think I saw anything bad. Did I see anything bad?
You want to roll me like an investigation check?
Yeah. I have rolled crap all night too. Don't send me for anything anywhere.
It all looks the same to you.
Splendid job. Come on back up.
I knew I could do it.
It's like a messy IT room.
You are such a good worker.
Absolutely.
Just in case, if you did not find anything, I'm going to be very angry later.
I wave it off.
Alright.
So back up to the deck, Bado.
Yep.
I will, as he comes up, I will just to kind of let him know so he knows what's going on. With the big voice. Big bad voice. Makes us bad men. Everyone hates us. That's pretty much it.
We the baddies?
Shoot.
I get that reference.
Gus, what are you doing?
I guess I'm kind of inching my way, like giving a wide berth to Pardo, but kind of like inching my way towards the front where ID10T is, and just be like, kind of look through. Is there like the front windows up there, kind of on the ship? Yeah.
So the cabin's kind of on the back part of the ship.
Oh, okay.
On the front is like a bow with a harpoon. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay, then never mind. I make my way towards the front and kind of look over the edge just to see like which direction we should go.
So you kind of scan around to the north of Ambrosia are the Iron Shield Mountains. You're from the woods southeast of town. So you kind of like scan and you see a bunch of trees and figure like that's the bearing that you should head to.
Okay. Then yeah, I kind of like point that direction, be like that way, and then also turn to Hardo and be like, where was the train that you saw last? Where did you leave the people?
The train followed this ship as close as it could, so if we head back towards home, I'm sure we'll see them in kind.
Who's this grandpa?
Just ask that in character.
Yeah, so you didn't see the interaction with them earlier. He's a druid-looking fella, Do you want to describe it again, Gus? Or
Just like quick, yeah, he's just a really big druid guy with like what look like deer horns, but they're like small tree branches growing out of his hair, and he's just like a big, muscly looking druid guy in a cloak and like leather robes, like a leather like armor.
Are you guys related?
He's one of the elders of Willow. Sort of.
Is he a mixture of like a Krampus and a Santa Claus?
He's like a Hagrid and a Santa Claus. Right?
Hagrid claws.
So he's electrically powered.
And he needs us to do what?
You said that the N3, the undead in the woods where we're from overtook my home. The people are in danger. They're hiding in our old train.
these creatures swarmed Gus's home and caused them to flee. Some of them fled to the woods. Some of them fled to your train that was out. You guys were out on the woods, remember? You were attacked by the Thwart Hogs. The ship took damage, so you guys left it when you snuck into the city through the night market. As these N3 were following you, you guys saw them out in the woods when you first met Gus. They swarmed the woods, and then people fled to the train to make refuge in there. These creatures they were trying to get in, but their contact with it sort of powered it up, and it like took off also in pursuit towards the city, dragging a bunch of N3 with it. They sort of like followed in kind, like drawn to the power source sort of thing. It wasn't able to make it over the city walls like the airship was. So it sort of like stuck outside, and then the N3 followed it and then got into the city. Make sense? I'm not
Yep.
sure if it's too convoluted.
No,
Yeah. Can't tell with your expression.
let's go check that out. I'm excited about that. Plus, it sounds like William Wisp wrapped up everything down below, except for the angry pedestrians.
He stopped these things and then said, "Look at this great thing I did for you. Like, see, I'm keeping you safe."
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a cool dude.
So as you guys start to like make your way out towards you're just flying over the rooftops and heading towards the gates of the city. William Wisp's voice booms again and says, "Do not let the friends of Barris escape this city. Bring them to me and you'll be greatly rewarded. We must protect our home."
Oh, man.
What?
Are we gonna fight citizens?
Hopefully. If only I was like that greedy rogue and I'd be like, reward, and just turn the ship completely around. But
You
yeah,
see
no.
Wisp sort of like he starts to levitate above the castle where he was.
Yeah.
And then you see that yellow eye like widen, and the yellow gets so vibrant. You spellcasters, you feel like a warp in the spine from where you get your magic powers. There's like this emanation, this pulse of gross magic. And you see the city walls, the direction you're heading, start to grow unnaturally and shoot up, sort of caging your ship in. So Ark's trying to escape, and the city walls start to grow where William Wisp is looking. Grinding of stones and popping, and
Can we not gain altitude yet? Is it still stuck?
you cannot. And your ship Ark is starting to fly
What
towards this
up?
wall.
Console.
It's a
turn-
bad time
hard
to
turn.
admit.
Bad
To
time.
admit what?
That anything in the engine.
Hard turn to port.
Fix it.
Port?
Fix it.
Hard turn to port.
Fix it.
So you lean, ID10, you kind of lean into the ship to convince it to turn, and it sort of drifts in the air and sort of skirts its belly on this newfound risen wall. And it starts to turn along the perimeter, and you see the wall starting to grow like alongside you, like just ahead of you, always preventing you from leaving. And then you see the other way around on the city, it's like the walls are just growing up higher than Ark can take you. So you're like a mouse stuck in a bucket.
So I'll keep turning us all the way around.
Steer us into William Wisp.
Straight to him.
Pointing us directly at him.
Not sure I like this idea.
Let's steer this baby into his face.
Hey, so what is the? Is there?
Zero what?
I have a spell called Identify that I can touch something and then I can figure out whether it requires attunement, or like how to use. Would that help me maybe figure out how to fix the ship?
Identify?
Yeah.
No. So the ship, you need like an artificer, because this is like magic in tech form.
Could I dispel the magic in a localized area just long enough for us to squeak through?
Oh, on the wall?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Does someone have another kind of spell? I can have a heat metal spell to fuse metal together, so we can build something.
Bigger harpoon.
Hold on, let me look up dispel first. That was the first thing brought to my attention. Let's see what this says. Dispel is DI, not DE. Dummy.
Not if you cast
Dispel magic. Choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spell casting ability. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. So you can absolutely try that, Bado, if you would like.
Call upon
All right.
the gods.
I stand at the bow as we're
Sort of skirting.
scraping along the curvature of the wall, and in the name of Ilmater, let us through, and cast it at the wall a little bit ahead of us so that we'll meet that area in a second or two.
I need you to make me an ability check
Oh.
using your spell casting ability.
We're scraping against the wall, right?
Not like right on it. When you guys first just missed it, you kind of scraped. Maybe every once in a while you'll feel the Ark's wing sort of brush.
Yeah.
Like a
Small
what are those
pieces
things?
little pieces of metal are like clipping off
Yeah.
of it as we hit the wall.
Yeah. There were like clotheslines that were hanging that are sort of like stretched now. What'd you roll there, Bado?
9.
9?
I have not rolled well at all tonight.
Yeah, so you reach out to your god and you try to cast the spell against a clip of the wall ahead of you, and this magic is too powerful. You're unable to disrupt the spine waves that are generating this.
I have dispel magic too, actually. Can I give it a try?
Absolutely.
Like I'm saying,
So
I see him doing it. I like try it also.
Yeah.
You join hands.
So, yeah, we're like joining.
Perhaps through the power of friendship.
For spell stuff, I rolled a 13. Do I add something to that?
Yeah, so your spell casting ability will be. What do you use to cast spells? Wisdom. So you're going to add that modifier and then plus 3 because you're proficient in it.
Okay, then it's 6 plus so 9.
19. All right.
Hot damn.
DC equals 10 equals the spell's level. All right. So Bado, you like put all your might into it and you just can't quite do it. And you kind of like drop your hands, and then you hear the sound of magic emanating next to you from your little goblin druid friend. And the spell shoots out, and you see a shimmer in the wall. So it like looks like it's still there, but it's translucent and shiny. And you feel like you've been able to dispel a chunk of that wall, Gus.
Is it like to our side, like we're running alongside of it, kind of, and gonna come up to it?
I imagine, yeah, you probably cast it ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big enough that the ship can fit?
One way to find out.
So ID10 to you see on the front of the ship, Bado tried to cast a spell and not succeed. And then Gus attempts, and you see part of the wall turn this jello-y, wibbly-wobbly, translucent up ahead, like 3 clicks.
All right, stay on target. All right, and I will try and kind of give us a little bit of a just kind of side swipe into the wall right at that moment. We hit.
So Gus casts that spell. Velvet, your book, the quill erases everything, and you read. It starts writing out POLYMORPH. Polymorph.
Polymorph. Guys, my weird book is saying polymorph now.
And you hear a roar of eruption. Your eyes turn back, and you see growing in the middle of the city, William Wisp. You see Drake Dragonstorm starting to enlarge.
Oh, no.
He's dragonborn, so he's like white dragon, but you see his features start to take dragon-like features. And all of a sudden, Drake Dragonstorm is this gargantuan white dragon in the middle of Ambrosia. And you hear William Wisp say, "Don't let them leave!"
Oh man, did he just pull like a Power Ranger move? Like a...
I call it, the term in Axe and Arcana is called Mega Metamogrification.
We don't have the rest of the bots. We can't form the gigantic one.
Ding
We
dong.
can't fight him yet.
Guess
And
we'll have
you-
to crash the
holy
ship into him.
You hear like a thunder crack as megamogrified Drake Dragonstorm claps his wings and starts to take off as this white dragon. An arc drifts and pushes through the dispelled section of the wall. You guys go through it, and it's an illusion. There's like nothing inside of it, but you still feel like the wings clip parts of stone. So it's like an illusion that has physical properties to it. Something far above what you may have seen before. But you guys dart out through this fake wall in the city, or through the dispelled wall, and shoot out outside of Ambrosia. Who wants to do what?
I want to man the harpoon station.
So you're gonna run up and jump on the harpoon.
Test the altitude.
It's still having a hard time getting up. Hey, had some whiskey.
Turn to me and Bosch and say, like, what's on this ship? Why can't we gain altitude?
Man, we were fixing it as best as we could, man. Like, it was either take off working this way, or we're gonna be overrun by those things, man.
So I'll get on the speaker and say, find everything that's not useful and throw it over the side.
Dump Bosch's collection of rocks.
Jettison it all.
Except the rock collection.
His weight station in the.
I picked up my nose.
So I have a proposition to the group. I'm unable to cast haste. Could I cast haste on the engine room? Would that help speed us up?
That'd be cool.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Well, then I saunter down to the engine room to see what I can do.
There's like the The tool panel feels very arcane. You know, there's like wands and buttons and knobs, and you see an exposed piece of like the ship core, you know, like where the fuel, arcane fuel, would be running through, and you're able to like place your hand on it and cast haste.
Ooh.
ID 10 to you feel the ship like surge, and it feels a little lighter, a little faster, and is able to pick up. Because of the haste, it's able to get some more air under the wings, which allows it to gain some more lift. I think that's how physics works. So yeah, you're able to like peek up. The ship darts up, like Batman over the clouds. You're able to see over the city of Ambrosia as you see this white dragon starting to fly towards you.
Must go faster. So keep up the speed as fast as I can.
Where are you headed? Are you headed to the
We're
trains? Are you
we're
headed
heading
to the
south.
woods?
Let's head to the trains.
I don't know where
lead
the
the
trains
giant
are.
dragon towards the trains.
Oh,
Can we crest the cloud so it looks like we're actually sailing on the cloud?
You can get up to the clouds, but you feel like that's sort of pushing it with the haste.
I could also cast Phantasmal Force to create an image of our ship to make it look like us and divert his attention. You know, I don't know.
What do you?
Like,
That's
Thunderwood, but
that
I need
is
him to get pretty close
brilliant,
before I can do it.
Velvet.
Is it?
So the ship's gonna take off into the clouds, and you want to cast Phantasmal Force to make it
That's
look like your
yeah.
ship.
That's kind of exactly what I was thinking. Like the clouds would be the cover, and then the fake ship would pop out, and we would kind of
You get an
ride those
inspiration
cloud
die.
waves.
You get an inspiration die.
Ooh.
So you craft an illusion that takes root in the mind of a creature you see. So I have to make a save. You cast spells with wisdom or intelligence?
You ask me that every time, and you think I know that.
I think it's intelligent.
It's
Must
plus
not
3,
be
I think.
Huh?
Is your intelligence plus 3?
Yes.
Okay, so when I ask you this, your spell save is 16. Because
A
it's
spell
10
save.
plus that so you get one ability, you cast all your magic with your intelligence because you've been poring over these books, like memorizing all these spells. So intelligence is how you tap into magic.
Right.
Sorcerers, the magic's from their blood, they're innate, so it's not intelligence based. They use it from wisdom, right? Like
Okay.
But you've studied these books, and then because you're proficient in it, you get a plus 3 on anything you're proficient with. So
Sure.
you cast this facsimile of your ship and shoot it down beneath the clouds. And let's see if the metamorphified dragon storm falls for it.
Eee.
Eee. So it is a intelligence saving throw. And when you get polymorphed, you take on the stats of the creature you polymorph into.
Oh.
So you look down, there's like a break in the clouds, and you see Fake Arc, aka Fark, shoot down. I imagine there's like ragdoll versions of you guys on the.
Yeah, we're all flopping in place.
And it shoots down and heads the opposite direction from the trains you were headed. And you see the shadow of this gargantuan white dragon on the ground beneath, and you see it veer left and start to follow Fark. Fucking well done. Like,
I'm helping.
yeah. Velvet doesn't get ready. Velvet stays ready. That was very cool.
You need 'em.
So you guys feel like you diverted Dragon Storm off your tail.
Sweet.
So you guys wanted to head to the train, correct?
I say head to the train. Yes.
So we trace our steps because it was
Stay in the-
following us.
Yeah, we'll stay in the clouds for some time. Just if we can.
ID10T, you sort of set a radar, like a warp ping, and you're able to locate the signal of the train cabins.
Ding, ding,
Like a few
ding.
minutes away.
Alright.
Gus, you notice Hard Oak kind of looking at you like impressed. He's kind of looking around. He's like these clouds, and he's just kind of taking it all in. Like, what just happened? That was amazing, little one.
Yeah, I kind of boast, but like, hey, you should leave the woods a little more often.
Got it.
What was that terrible creature in the city of the city? It made me uneasy. Everything about this day, this past few days, has been very uneasy. Those creatures that should not be in more than one way, and then all of a sudden that thing was unnatural. That should not be here. That yellow eye. I see it when I close my eyes.
Say you get used to it, but you don't. It makes progress.
It's like everything sucks all the time now.
Lots of butt.
Lots of front.
Sucks lots of butt.
From the front.
Lots of front butt.
I don't
Says
like you
Dusk from
hanging
the
out
back.
with these people, Gus. he looks uncomfortable. Zazu like flutters over and lands next to him. He's like, "Oh, unnatural, so unnatural."
Oh.
Zazu. Arc starts to dip beneath the clouds as you start to approach the trains. You notice at different parts of the city, the N3 sort of like filing out, but the work train is not necessarily near them. You see at different gates around the city, but the train is sort of, it looks like it hit into the side of the building and sort of collided, and all four carriages sort of smashed into the side and then rolled to a stop. And any N3 that were there seemed to have scattered. And Arc descends. And do you want to land? Do you want to hover? What do you guys want to do?
So is this at the city still?
You guys are outside of the city gate, so the city wall is still large. It's still enlarged. You hear Dragonstorm roars in the distance, like booming through the valleys of
And
Ambrosia.
the train looks just derailed. So
Yeah. It had an arcane rail. It wasn't ever really touching anything, but it momentum sort of like it hit this wall and sort of like tumbled into it.
Yeah, when you said it was trying to follow, I imagined just bumping into the wall, like boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did everybody
but-
survive?
So you guys are descending. You let me know how
I'm
you
gonna do
want to explore it.
Do
Yeah.
a roll. And like a roll dive. You ever see the planes when they like roll
Yeah.
and dive down?
Just tuck and roll.
To get real fast so that we don't get detected. Yeah.
Just plummet from the clouds to the tree line real fast.
No, Brian. Like straight and
Uh-huh.
then roll, like barrel roll sideways and then down.
Oh, okay.
You see
No.
what I'm saying?
No. Oh, like
Yeah.
the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Like Star.
Are we just
Yeah,
all
like
held on with centrifugal force? Or...
I don't
Yeah,
know.
the ship kind of spins and it feels like there's an arcane gravity that
We have a shield, right? Is that still working?
it has to be
We
turned
have
on.
a shield, right?
I mean,
Things
When
you don't want to
all-
hear.
When Arc enters the spine, there's like a shielding before you entered the
Yeah.
gates. But it's a little bit of the centrifugal. One of the
Yeah.
forces keeps you, and then there's a little bit of arcane gravity.
I've calculated it. Don't worry. But yeah, we go down there real fast, and I'm gonna just brake, do a hot brake, and pull up like immediately, and we'll get right down to it.
Everybody make me a reflex save.
God damn it.
Oh, I rolled a 6.
Add your dexterity modifier if you have it.
I rolled a
+1 is a 7.
Nine.
I rolled a 5.
The only time it really matters, and I rolled a 14.
Well, so you are nimble and dexterous already. So Ark does this roll out of the clouds, dives really quickly as not to be seen, and then hits a sudden stop. And everybody, including Leon and Bosch, sort of fly forward and hit the ground, except Blue Mandrill, aka
And
Gus.
I got 18.
Oh, and Bado's he's just planted. He kind of leans forward a little bit.
Mhm.
He's like a weeble wobble. He can't knock down. How close to you? Are you above the ship? Are you next to it? Are you on the ground?
50 feet off the ground, right above it.
All right. So you guys are hovering above the. I don't want to say wrecked because they took damage, but they're not smoking or anything. They used to be jammers, so they're used to taking a couple hits. And you look down and you kind of see through the window slots. You see movement of creatures inside of it.
Maybe we should just hook on and prepare for a quick getaway in case we need to.
Hook onto what?
To the trains.
Yeah.
Because they used to be jammers?
Or the
I mean, they're the carriage.
train cars. Yeah.
There's people
Yeah.
inside of it. You guys were towing it earlier in the season.
We could hook
Get
back
there.
up to it in case we get ambushed while we're making sure everybody's okay, and be ready to roll.
I'll go lower down to about 15 feet.
All right, so Ark starts to descend. The Archdruid is looking over and he's like, "Yes, that's where they were. Oh, I think they're still alive. I see movement in there. What are we doing, Gus?"
Is it daytime, by the way?
It was morning time, but there was heavy overcast.
Okay.
So it's gray. Purplish, greenish gray, because the skies had sort of been tinted a natural color since William Wisp's return. But it's more overcast than it had been.
Scanning for life forms?
Yeah.
There's living creatures in there. Gus, you're you feel there's vibrant life inside the shells.
Okay. I don't see any more zombies. Maybe we should just keep going. I don't know. I can see them yet. Maybe we should go to Willowhurst. See if that's safe. I don't know.
Go over, leave your friends?
They seem to be okay. Kind of nervous a little bit.
If there's nothing obvious, well, no, we're still hovering.
You're 15 feet, so you're not way up.
That's
anymore.
still fall damage.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna hop off and check them out.
So we just drove by to make sure they're all right. Is just a drive-by checkup?
Are we still in our costumes? We took them off, right?
No, I don't think anybody did.
I'm just in my costume now all the time, I think.
So is Bado still in a baby outfit?
Giant baby outfit. I think so.
It's coming apart.
I'll
Yeah.
ask Bado, would you like to check?
Yeah, we should make sure they're
This is
okay.
a yes or no question. All
Yes.
right. I'll break off of my hole, basically unhook, and I'll
Alright.
walk down to Bato, and I'm going to go, all right, zip zap boom, and I'll grab him, touch him, and he'll feel the ability to float and fly.
So you cast
I cast the fly spell on him.
Cool.
Featherfall?
an elephant that can
No,
fly.
not Featherfall, Bato.
Well, I heard
Fly.
everything.
That is a lot kinder than I thought it was going to be.
So you start to float slowly upward a little bit. You feel that you have that ability now.
Okie dokie.
In your torn up.
You hear the
Nice.
song from the end of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Pop on down there, check it out. If there's any survivors,
And I
we're
ride
good to
him.
go.
Yeah,
Right.
if he's larger
Push.
category than you.
I'm gonna ride him down.
The blue mandrill jumps on the back of the flying elephant.
I'm gonna record
Elephant
this
baby.
for my database.
Elephant baby.
It's a good experiment.
And you guys want to saunter on down to the...
Yeah, float or drift. I'm trying to look up
No,
the
you have the
mechanics for
ability to
fly.
fly. So
You've got
60
fly
feet.
speed. For how long
Oh,
does
okay.
this last?
Let me check.
And time's up.
60 feet.
Yeah.
10 minutes. The fly
Yeah,
spell is
up to 10 minutes as long as I concentrate.
Gus, what are they doing? Are they going to check on our friends?
I think so. I'm gonna kind of keep watching from the edge of the ship.
Should we help?
If you... I'll go if you go. I'm not leaving you up here by yourself.
I mean, these are our people. I feel like we should do what we can to help.
that means running into like old high school buddies. It's just gonna be awkward.
He was already on the ship before we got there, right? Like he's already been on the ship unsupervised.
I mean, Leon and Bosch were there. I don't know.
They're still there, right? Or
Yeah.
did they, like,
No, they're,
like-
they're just kind of watching this whole...
I feel
They're
like
a little traumatized from experiencing. They were like out in the field, like, hurry up, man! Fix the damn machine, man! As they saw these construct dead sort of starting to crawl out of the woods.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, "Eh, okay, you're right. And I like hop. Is Bato still flying nearby? Can I like hop on his leg?
everyone pile on Bato.
You-
He'll fly us down.
Gus can do it, but Hard Oak's like, how am I supposed to do this?
Care.
You look like a hugger.
Um,
Hugs.
so you
Magic
guys descend. Hard Oak's unable to get down. As you guys sort of descend, it's like kind of too late.
All
So
yeah.
Bato, Gus, and Waddle land on the ground next to the work trains. What do you guys want to do?
Make my way to the door of the nearest one and knock on it and let them know that, well, I guess they don't know me. I'm here with,
Yes.
I've forgotten the name of, no, I was thinking of the leader, the elder, but yeah, Gus. I'm sure that's not a common name.
Gramps.
So you like knock and you say that, and then all of a sudden a face comes to the door and it looks terrified and it's like, get us out, 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 get us out.
Yes, sir. And I will try and wrench the door open if it's not going to open normally. Like it looks like it's undamaged, right? Or at least functional.
It looks like it's been bent and the doors are jammed.
They're working.
Strength check.
Yeah, make me a strength check.
Wait, can he actually get any leverage while he's floating?
No, he can land.
And or pry against
Just has that
the rest of
ability.
the cart carriage.
So those of you who are still on the ship, you're kind of looking down and there's 4 trains, and you notice the front 3 trains have people in them that seem to be moving towards the door, and then a couple are staying back, and in that back train you see like erratic movement in the last train.
Rolled a 14 for strength check.
So you start to pull, and you hear the screaming of metal, and it like doesn't want to open. You're like, open the door. Please open the door. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on, but they're only going to stay contained in the last box for so long.
Wait, they're in the last box? Let's go to the last box.
Gus, you want to saunter over to the last box? I'm sorry, not Gus. I'm sorry, Waddle.
Yeah, I want to see if there's like a hatch or a door. Or
So
something
Blue
that's not-
Mandrill walks over, and the last hatch you see there's like a shoddy weld job from where the back of the cart was blown off after your encounter with the Thwarthogs.
I remember
And
that.
you're kind of looking at it, and then you see like hands hit the window, and these hands are covered with like purple fungus.
Hmm.
And then you see these things inside, and they look like druids, but there's this moldy fungus on them, and they don't look right, and they're starting like ravenously hitting as they see you outside. They're in like the prison cart of the train. This is where you guys were keeping Kyrus.
Who's on the ship still?
It is you and Velvet and Dusk.
And we don't see this stuff.
You can't tell what's going on. You're just kind of like looking. What are you guys on the ship doing?
Man, the harpoon station.
Harpoon station.
So I think that I was kind of like, I was trying to help, and then I just like wasn't really able to help, and there was a lot of like, oh, those yellow eyes were really scary, and I've just been thinking a lot about those yellow eyes, and I think I just kind of like have been focusing a lot on actually like trying to maybe hope. I mean, I guess I've been hoping for the ship to come back down because I'm trying to actually find my way back to William Wisp in some way. But something I think is maybe I've just been like pondering the yellow eyes a little bit too much, and I'm beginning to get a little fuzzy in my head. So yeah.
Are you saying that, or is this sort of like internal monologue?
I guess I'm just trying to say that, like, I'm just telling you that, like, I'm beginning to get a little like foggy in my brain because of like thinking about these things. So I guess it's just internal monologue. I'm just being kind of sad and alone on the ship, thinking about that.
Starts to pull, and then as you feel loneliness, you hear the voice of your patron start to like creep in, like, "Fear not, young Dusk. We will find the one you seek."
Who are you?
I turn to Dusk and I go, "Are you okay, Dusk? You've been awful quiet this whole day. You haven't really said much. You all right there, buddy?"
I think I'm just sweating profusely.
Would you like a moist
maybe I just
rag?
black out.
Did you say you got out?
Dusk is gonna turn completely pale and begin to sweat profusely and just go rigid and black out.
Yeah, get a rest.
He just like falls face down on the deck.
Yeah, he sort of like gets the vapors. He's like, "I'm fine." That sweat starts to like drip, like a cold sweat starts to run down his face, and then he just
I'm fine.
not like a
And then just
When I
plank
my
forward.
I put my hand to my head. I fall face forward.
Yeah,
my
the
hand
metal
just
hand.
clangs on the ground.
oh, and
as
it,
I
like,
look- yeah.
Guys, all
Crunch like this. Yeah.
Guys, I don't think Dusk is okay.
And the blood starts slowly seeping out of my.
Oh yeah, that's probably bad, right?
Am I the only other one on the ship?
yeah. Bato and
No one else around.
I'm just staring. I turn to look at him, but I really don't sense the immediate danger, so I'm just kind of looking. Like, oh.
Leon and Bosch went into the engine room to try to
Oh god, that's right.
stuff out.
That's new.
Oh God! I grab Dusk and I try to move him to see if he's okay. Can I turn him over? Is he?
Yeah, so you roll him over, and it doesn't seem like an he's still breathing. It's kind of like stress, anxiety, like something caused his system to overload, and he's out.
He's got that heavy breathing, like he's
Yeah,
like
labored
fever.
breathing. There's like a notch on his head from where his prosthetic augmented arm hit.
I yell out, "Can someone go get me a glass of water?" And then I start giving his face little slaps.
I will go get a glass of water for him.
Thank you.
The druid Hard Oak. I know druids can create water.
Yeah, it's like a level 1 spell.
So he'll come over and he'll like start looking at Dusk, and you'll see him conjure. He pulls out a deer skin sack.
Oh.
Says an incantation, and you see it start to fill up, and he starts to pour water into Dusk's mouth, and he does a medicine check. I have no idea what's wrong with him.
3 minutes later, I come back up with the glass of water. What?
I was gonna say, I think almost every D&D character can create water naturally.
It's called pee-pee. He's like, I'm not sure what's wrong with your friend, but I think he'll be okay. Let's get him into the cabin. And so he starts to pick up Dusk and take him below deck, where he will rest for a while until he feels better.
All right, I'll go back to the rail and check on everybody.
Yeah.
I was
Go
gonna say that it might be a good idea to throw a rope down
All
for
right.
anyone who can't fly.
I think it's
So-
a good thought.
Toss a rope
What's that?
down.
Yeah.
Bado, you want to try the door again?
Yes, I was actually. Yeah. If I thought it was close, I'll roll again. But I was also thinking of hacking at the lock or wherever it seems to be stuck. The hand axe.
You feel like a strength is more likely than a hack.
All right.
I'm tapping on the glass.
18.
We are going to die. So you pull, and the door releases, and like 10 or 12 people in druid robes start to filter out. Gus, you recognize Cavendish.
Okay.
Name right?
Yes.
And they start to make out, and they're like, okay, now close the door, now close the door, now close the door.
Is that everyone?
Everybody who made it. Something's wrong with the people in the back cabin. I'm not sure what happened. I heard a vial, like glass break at some point, and then people started to get covered with this fungus, these mushrooms. I don't know, and it sort of resembled those creatures out there, but there was no machinery on them. I'm not sure what it is, but I know it was unnatural.
No.
I'm gonna shout into the open car that they just came out of. Is anybody still here?
And you hear.
That's a no. I'm gonna close it and try and lock it again.
Sounds like a good time for a fireball.
I'm gonna yell down and say, "Is everything all right? Can we hook her up?"
There might be some light infestation
Let's hook
to
it
deal
up.
with.
Let's hook it up.
No.
Oh, that's fine.
No. I grabbed. You said was Cavendish the one that's talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before any kind of reunion, I just grab him and shake him like, "Is Eugene's still in there?"
When those things, when they got to the city, we split up. She ran to the woods, and I made my way this way, and I'm sure she's still okay.
I like don't even let him finish, and I just like I shout up to Velvet. I'm like, "Do you have any or something? We must burn this car."
Wait, what? Look down. What?
Not let these things spread that are inside here. Very bad.
Feeling like
I walk
Not
up
like
and
the
I say,
other undead. Morris
I-
Arentus. Wandering death spreads very bad, very fast.
okay, Gus, calm down, little buddy. It's okay. I got you, fam. I got you. And I walk up and I just casually cast a fireball into it.
So you're still up on the ship.
Yeah, you're still gonna
Oh,
I'm shouting up at you.
damn it.
Like,
You can hit it,
Right.
but the question.
Well,
is,
I'm
what
over
is
here.
best?
I've done enough. I've done a lot today.
I mean, I could throw one that way if everybody's
have
okay with it.
we don't have the door open.
Yeah, wait, does anyone still
What?
have some kind of
Yeah, you guys cast a bunch of spells.
What? I have one left. So why don't we just take it with us and kill them later?
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm gonna drop the. I think I don't know how it hooked on, but I imagine it's this gigantic chain. I'm gonna just go ahead and toss a gigantic chain over the side there.
And they're like, the people down there, like, you don't want anything to do with that. Like, just leave it be. Gus, how's our home? Is everything okay?
You're asking me? I don't. Hard Oak's up there. He says it's lost. Everyone left.
We've got to find the others.
We do, but if we leave this here and it spreads to the city, it'll be bad.
Is it worse than those other things? It seems like bad's kind of all around, Gus.
I'm
Bad
gonna
seems to be on the menu.
scan the skies and just kind of see what's going on around us. Just
Make
keep
me a
keep
perception
aware.
check.
Okay. That's gonna be a 9. So I'm like, kind of sitting in one place for quite a long time. Big dragon, giant yellow wisp man, bad.
Let me see real quick.
How long does that did that phantasm spell last?
Assuming that the dragon didn't catch up to it.
Well, I mean, if he destroyed it, yeah, that'll knock it out real quick. But I mean, even if he didn't, like, how long would that go?
Let's check that out for you real quick. I did not bookmark it like I should.
It says,
might-
I sense impending
Brian
doom.
had said that we heard him.
You said something.
I thought DM said that we heard him roar, so that indicated that he caught up to the
Concentration up to a
ship.
minute.
I am sensing impending doom.
So you sense impending doom, and then you notice the druids, their ears like rabbits or deer or different kinds of prey animals all like perk up. And they look around and they're like, we can't be here. And they all have various forms of wild shape. And you see them like shape themselves into different creatures. Cavendish looks at you and he's like, this is not a safe place to be. We have to go check on home. Keep them from finding us. It wild shapes into like a jackalope, and you see the druids start to like scatter towards the woods, as something's raising the hair. Even you, like, you feel like the mushrooms on your skin start to like raise up a little bit in fear.
Okay. Maybe we should go. I kind of like look for like some like mud or chalk, and I kind of just try to write on the like trim door that's closed, like, no open, burn, and draw a little sad face.
And do it like Walking Dead, no burn.
yeah.
Anybody else make me a perception check? You guys are still sort of split between on the ship and off the ship, but everybody go ahead and make me a perception check.
17.
I
18.
rolled a 9.
Rolled 11.
Just for the record, I kind of want to cart up these zombies and fly off with them.
You want to what?
I want to chain up these zombies.
So you want to start chaining. ID10T threw a chain out, and you want to start hooking it up.
Just
So
for the record, that was
you're
my
kind of
fault.
doing that as you're wiring it up so you can tow it. The druids wild shape and scatter. Hard Oak looks at Gus and he says, "My boy, I have to follow them to make sure everything's okay. I'm not sure where your path takes you, but come check on us when you can. I have to make sure the others are safe."
I still have questions for you. Don't leave.
He yells from like 15 feet below the ship.
Yeah.
So
that's-
Hard Oak climbs down the rope that was dropped by ID10T. He's like, "What is it, son? There's not much time for answers, but I'll answer anything you have."
the thing's in there. How are they here when I burned those mushrooms?
You're the one who set fire?
Yeah. I mean, somebody burned those mushrooms.
Gus, it was our only defense against these undead constructs. We knew it was unnatural, but it was dire times and dire actions were called for. And there's a reason we don't meddle with those things. And sure enough, it turned against us. You were right, Gus.
I kind of like narrow my eyes, not expecting him to admit that. Be like, Ugh. Still doesn't explain why it's there. I didn't leave any on the train.
No, but you didn't burn all of them. I still had a couple on me. And they were a last case. What's the word I'm looking for?
While they're discussing this, I'm like
Last
doing
ditch
flagging
resort.
motions to
Last ditch
Otto and Waddle to like hook the thing up to the chain. Just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. My hands.
Arc gets fastened to the 4 train carriages, the last of which have these like fungal reanimated undead. I'm sorry, my boy, it's not what you wanted or expected of me. I was just doing what I thought I had to. You represent the best of us, young Gus.
Fine, go to them. Keep them safe. Find you again.
I'll make this up to you one day, Gus. Eagle! And
Yes.
he eagle shapes and starts to like fly off towards the woods.
I knew it.
Wait a minute, why did he need a rope to get down?
He still had to talk. He didn't want to waste a wild shape.
Eagles can't talk and just be like, come.
It's like what we do in the shadow. So you go, bat. So he starts to fly off, and you see the white dragon swoop in with his mouth open. Hard Oak's gone.
Shit.
See?
As you
There's
see-
the impending doom.
You see the druids like scatter at the shadow of this massive prey. Its wings beating now as you see like the grass push all over the place. And he sort of like circles around. He was gliding silently in. All of the sonars and signals on the ship start flaring as the ship's being pinged. You guys look and see the walls of Ambrosia, the illusion dissipating. As the walls are coming down, you see 5 or 6 Thwarthog airships, the ones you guys escaped, sort of waiting for you on the other side. So on one side of you, Drake Dragonstorm in his megamogrified wild white dragon shape, and then the city guard and their airship sitting around as you guys are chaining up this heavy ship to it.
We
And a
fly
voice
with that?
comes,
Like I I was
part of the crew's on the ship, and part of you guys are still down on the ground as this is happening. And you hear, like, over loudspeakers, "Attention, friends of Barris! You are now under arrest for aiding and abetting the wizard Barris Grelmdar, enemy of William Wisp. Do not put up a fight. We are taking you into custody." And the ship start to, like, lower and circle around you, and it seems like a no-win situation for the gang from Axe and Arcana. And that's where we'll leave.
No.
I think. Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Everyone's been always leaving wanting more.
There you go.
Fantastic job tonight, everybody. Good stuff.
That was fun.
Mhm.
That was a real fun adventure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
A lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
Good.
I'll try. Sorry if it gets overcomplicated. I'm trying to simplify stuff. I've got these stories in my mind, and then once we get in the heat of it, I get all excited.
Aw.
But the name of the next adventure will be the Court of William Wisp. We'll say that much. So, thanks everybody for hanging out with us on the Axe and Arcana on the internet broadcast system. Thanks everybody for playing a fun, wonderful game tonight. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Y'all know you can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors. Y'all know you can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors. Y'all know you can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors. Y'all know you can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors.
Stop and think about the things you do, the things you say, 'cause we gon' bring it to you each and every day. Don't play around, clown, we'll put you down. The warriors are here, we came to chase the haters away. We throw down for our brothers, down for our mothers and their sons and daughters to fight for freedom and peace. We'll have you tied out like a phone line, 'cause we always on the grind. You got beef, why don't we take you to the streets? When you hear the all call, you're gonna fall. Like reservoir dogs, have you run like babies on the crawl? We'll have you tied up with the quickness. Think that you can step to this? Haven't you heard about the click, click, boom of the cannons, boom of the better minutes? I got everybody scared, flying high above your head. It's time to stand up for the better things. I fight for all the freedom rings. Look to the sky and know that we are warriors.
You can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors.